Welcome back to my channel. So today I have some crazy updates for you guys, and that pertains to paranormal activity that I have been continuously experiencing, not only in my household but even when I travel. I'm not sure if you are all caught up with all of my paranormal story times. However, if you are, just to kind of give you guys a reminder, my job is very much haunted by a little girl. I have never seen her other than seeing her shadow figure once. Other coworkers have seen her in great detail, and she's a little girl in a dress, blonde, about I guess 8 or 9 years old. Okay, keep that in mind. I have been MIA for a while, and I have an update for you, and that is what I will be discussing. Anyways, grab your matcha, grab your snacks, and let's get right on into it. This kind of ties into my personal life, and before I continue, I just want to say I got a friend here, and if you hear me talking to her off screen or whatever, that is completely fine. I know a lot of you viewers love when I had my friend Maria on here, so I just kind of like to film authentically, and sometimes that's with my friends around. So anyways, back to the story. I just came back from about a 2-week-long holiday in France. This was an amazing trip that I got to go on with my partner. My partner surprised me for my birthday, and the first part of this trip was going through different small towns in Normandy, and the second part was obviously a week in Paris. Normandy has so much significant history to it. If you do not know, it's not only where a huge battle pertaining to World War II occurred, but it's also where Joan of Arc was executed. So there's a lot of cultural significance and important history surrounding Normandy, and of course it's very old in comparison to the United States. So I was beyond excited knowing that my father's a history buff and whatnot, and of course I needed this well-awaited long break. I wrote down on my notes all these things that have been occurring so I can share with you, and I'm going to go in order on the things that have happened since the paranormal activity at my job. So we were going through different towns in Normandy, and once we were done with our Normandy trip, we went back to Paris. And we stayed 1 full week in an Airbnb with a host, and I absolutely loved it. And where this Airbnb was located was basically smack dab in the middle of Paris. And it was right across the street from Notre Dame Cathedral. And I loved it. It had access to the metro. It had access to a beautiful area where we could go grocery shopping and get water. So it was the perfect location for my partner and I, given that we were staying there for 1 full week. But the thing about this Airbnb was it was very eerie at night. It was located on the 2nd floor of a very old rustic apartment building, as they are in Paris. And right below it was a bakery. So Parisian, correct? And I would say about the 3rd night there, I was asleep, fast asleep, dreaming. And to preface this, I don't have nightmares. I never have nightmares. I have, I guess, what you could equate to premonitions, and they come to me in dreams. So here I am, minding my own business in Paris, fast asleep, and my partner's asleep next to me. And I am having this very, very vivid, distinct, and in real time, if I could describe it, type of dream. This dream isn't jumping around like most dreams do. And this dream begins by me viewing this beautiful little girl. I would say she's about 7, 8, or 9 years old. Blonde, and she has very straight hair. She even has like crooked teeth and blue eyes, slight freckles. I remember her vividly as if she was someone I knew. And she's wearing this, I guess you could say, like cotton linen type of dress, like a baby doll dress with white tights, and it's a light blue with very thin white stripes going down. I remember it in such distinct detail. And in this dream, this little girl, I can see her as if she's right in front of me, and she's running away in a field. Happy-go-lucky, lightly loving, beautiful little girl. And then this dream, after I'm viewing her, having fun and just living her life, jumps to a portrait of her, and it's in black and white. And I guess I could assume it was her school portrait. And she has 2 braids on either side and she looks done up. Just adorable, right? Then this dream takes a 180, a sudden turn, and I'm looking at her unalive body and it's cut. And the way it's cut is like no head, and her right leg is as well. And I'm looking at this grotesque image of this beautiful little girl in this unalive way, and it's in such vivid detail. And then I woke up completely freaking out. I woke up breathing heavy, I woke up in a sweat, and my partner's next to me. And I was kind of shaken. Of course, I needed to go to the bathroom a few moments later, and I did not want to walk by myself in this apartment. The energy in this apartment shifted. It was eerie, it was uncomfortable, it was unsettling, it was dark, heavy. It did not feel right. And I asked my partner to walk me to the bathroom like a child, and he stayed with me in the bathroom because I was too scared. Next day, same exact dream, same exact length, same exact way. Like, crazy, right? Like, I'm looking at my friend right now and she's just like, because I told her, she doesn't know these stories. I told her, hey, want to watch me watch a YouTube video, film a YouTube video, and you'll learn in real time these stories. So that happened twice in a row. So it wasn't until later that week that my partner told me that while I was asleep, he could not sleep, and he was hearing disembodied voices like in his head, refusing to let him go to bed, and they were saying very mean things to him. And that was happening while I was fast asleep. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So of course, here I am shaken up, and I feel just gross. I feel off. For one full day in Paris, I just felt tired and off. And I tried looking up the details that I witnessed in my sleep. And I would say, if I could pinpoint it, maybe she was from the 60s. I couldn't find anything. And maybe it's because I was not looking in French. I was searching in English, but I couldn't find anything about a little girl in the area that went missing or that was murdered. Like, it's just wild, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was someone like many decades ago that knew I was more susceptible or prone to spirituality, I think. And I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. That's crazy. That's
The same dream twice in a row. What the heck? Crazy. And I don't know who this little girl is, and it really stuck with me. I remember calling my mother, so shaken, and she saw my face, and I told her my dream, and she said, well, Paris is a very old city, and she may have been trying to contact you, and she may have been a victim of obviously very foul play, and it was very sad to dream something like that, and I don't dream things of that nature. So she didn't look like anyone I knew, just a beautiful, innocent girl. So fast forward, I came home from France, and this week I have been feeling off. I keep speaking to my friends about it. I speak to my parents about it. Something doesn't feel right. And of course, with what's happening in America and all these political shifts, and it's just, I'm tired. I am tired, to say the least, and I just feel off, and this week is no exception. With that being said, I was downstairs in my kitchen, and the way that my kitchen is set up is, if you're on the inside of the island where the stove is, you do not have a view of our living room. If you are where the kitchen table is, you have a view of our living room. So I was seated at my kitchen table, and then I got up right next to the kitchen table, and I was facing my mother, who was standing on the inside portion of our island in our kitchen. So she can see me perfectly, and she can see the kitchen table behind me, but she does not have a good view of the living room, as opposed to me, who can have a good view of the living room while speaking to her. And in our living room, where the TV is, on the side wall, there's a window. As I'm speaking to my mother, from my peripheral vision, I see something moving, and it's in front of the window downstairs. Like, you know that, I'll show you the window downstairs. I see something moving, and mid-conversation, I abruptly stop, I halt, look at my mother, and she sees in my face that something has caught my attention. I look to my left, and I'm looking straight at this window, and in front of the window, so it's inside the house, I see this black shadow. And it looked like a toddler, if I could describe it, a toddler or a little person, completely black, and it's walking in front of this window, and then it walks in front of the table where we have our portraits, and in between this table where our portraits is, it's another table, and on top of that table it's my mother's laundry basket, and it has like little holes in it so you can see through the holes. So this creature passes from in front of the window, and it's behind the laundry basket but in front of the picture table. And the reason why I know that is because I could see it through the laundry basket. And then it suddenly stopped. I looked right at my mother, and she knew. My mother just knew I saw something, and I was stuttering and shaking, and I was like, Mom, 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 and I couldn't speak, and my mom just said, it's because you allow it. It's because, like, way to victim blame me, but my mom was like, you let them know that you're open to seeing them, and my mom exclaimed, whatever you are, get out, you're not welcome here, leave my daughter alone. And my mom grabbed my arms and she led me to sit down, and I just had tears coming down, like out of shock. I just had tears just streaming down my face, and my mom sat me down, and I told her, I think I just saw a duende. And I don't know, I think maybe your mom, maybe Vietnamese people have a version of this, but duendes are small, like gnome-like people that tend to inhabit the house or certain pieces of land. Do Vietnamese have that too? I'm pretty sure.
I think they do have their own
like goblins or things like that, little creatures.
Yeah. That's so creepy.
I already told my viewers this story. I told you guys a long time ago, but my friend Maria told me that when she was young, she's Mexican, she was coming home from a party with her family, and she was like a preteen, I believe, and she's the first to walk into the house because her father unlocked the door, and then it was her, and she saw like a small little creature person just, and she stopped and gasped, and her father asked her, are you okay? And she, you know, when you're young, sometimes you just don't tell the truth, because especially with things like that, how can anyone believe you, right? Yeah. So she told her father, I'm fine. And she told me recently that it wasn't until years later her dad told her, do you remember that one time when we came back late at night? And she said, yeah, I do. And he said, I saw it too. Stop. Yeah. So we believe duendes, they're mischievous little spirits, and they look like small, tiny, like fairy gnome-like people. But that's what I think, that's what I believe what I saw downstairs was. And let me know what you believe it might have been, because usually when I see things, I don't feel fearful, but for some reason I went into shock this time, and I just began to shake. I didn't feel maleficent energy coming from it. I didn't necessarily feel in danger, but I just had this weird reaction I don't tend to have. Usually when I experience these paranormal instances, I seem to have better control of myself and my breathing and nature of my body, but this time I began to shake and cry. So let me know if you may know or have experienced something similar. This was earlier last week, and about 2 days ago, I believe it was, in the middle of the night, I woke up. I was stirring in my sleep. I could not get a deep sleep in. I woke up, and in the state of coming out of sleep, I heard something, and it sounded like a woman subtly speaking, and I could not pinpoint where she was coming from. I told myself in my head, go back to bed. don't open your eyes, go back to bed. And I did. Next morning, I'm here in my room and I hear coming from somewhere in the house a woman crying. She's whimpering. That's not my mom. And that's definitely not my sister because my sister is at clinicals. Who is it? My mother was downstairs. It was not her. My mother was completely fine. I heard that. I'm not alone. Something's happening. I feel off. The energy is off. The world is off. America is off. Something's happening. A collective enlightened shift is occurring, and I think it may be making its presence known, especially in this house, because of how spiritually open we are. Like, you know, my whole family, we believe in all that.
Yeah.
So that happens. Okay, this is crazy. This just happened. My mother went to go pick up my sister from clinicals. If you don't know what that is, when you are in nursing school, you have to take shifts at a hospital before you can graduate. So my sister, obviously, we still live at home. My mother is more than happy to pick us up when we need her. My mother went to go to the hospital. My father's at work. I'm completely and utterly alone in the house. When I'm alone, our hallway, I don't like being in our hallway. I like closing my door. Our hallway is dark. And why turn on lights when, first of all, runs more electricity than need be, and two, it's summer in Las Vegas. It can get 120 degrees here. No, I'm not. No. I'm in my room, and as you can see, from certain angles in my room, if I'm looking in my mirror, I have a perfect view of the hallway. It's dark. I went downstairs and I came back up and I realized when I was coming back in my hallway to my room, yikes, I don't like this. At the end of my hallway, my sister's room is completely open and it's dark. I don't like that. So I went over and I closed my sister's bedroom door. Completely closed it. And then I realized I'm in my room and I'm still able to look into my open bathroom, which is also very dark. I don't like that. I don't want to look in the mirror and accidentally see something like I have in the past. So I go in the hallway, I close my bathroom door. I close it, made sure completely closed. I come back into my room and I look in my mirror. Why is the bathroom door open?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. No. Stop. No, no.
This just happened, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. So this has all been happening within the week. And immediately I grab a sticky note and I tell myself, thanks for the content. Oh, and then I found another sticky note with things that had occurred not too long ago. I was home alone as well, and I heard my mother yell my name. Obviously that wasn't my mom, and I'm very good when I hear the spirits calling my name. I'm excellent at being able to distinguish between a spirit mimicking versus the actual person, and I know it was not my mom. And of course it gave away that my mother was not home. Right before I left to France, I had some things on my dresser and my armoire. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but I had my AirPods on top of there, and I also had my glasses and the case on top of there. I was with my partner. I was speaking to my partner on FaceTime. Guess what suddenly fell without explanation? The AirPods and the glasses. Just right off. And they weren't stacked on anything. They were completely flat, and I saw it happen. I was literally laying right here on FaceTime, and I had a perfect view of it just happening. And my partner on the phone asked me, what was that? And I told him, and he said, I believe that you just saw that. So those are some things that have been occurring in my household and in my life, and I am so excited to be able to share them with you, as I know this is content and I would never fake it, so I just wait until things happen. Thank you for your patience. I do apologize for not frequently uploading, as I was on holiday and relaxation comes first. And I hope that I do not encounter any more terrifying experiences, but if they happen, I suppose I'm meant to experience them. Stay strong. Times are rough. We are still in a pandemic, and with what's happening in our country and just the news of the world, it can be a little discouraging. Maybe that's why we are collectively opening our eyes a little more. Before I end this video, obviously I told my coworkers about what was occurring, was able to speak to the manager in the other department that has seen the little girl the most, and he's the same man that the little girl plays hide and seek with. He told me that she is in a white dress, and I said, okay, the one I saw was in blue. Maybe it might be the same girl. Maybe she followed me to France. Who knows? Let me know if you believe she is the little girl that haunts my job, or let me know that I may have witnessed a crime of the past. All in all, I would love to hear about your paranormal instances and stories. If you would like to share them with me, send them to my Instagram. I'd be more than happy to speak to you regarding them, and also, with your permission, share them. I am so excited to be uploading this video for you. As scary as it was for me to experience, I'm just excited to share. All in all, keep drinking your matcha. Please be safe out there, and just love each other. Until next video, goodbye.